foodstuffs, but can't step out. You feeling stressed out, with the money that's generator. You can't go to the markets, no cooking at the moment. No the man good, you got your device, go inside, OJA.NG. OJA, you need OJA. OJA, you need OJA. OJA, you need OJA. OJA, what you need is OJA. OJA.
Have you ever heard the saying, you are what you eat? So I will tell you that don't be fast, don't be cheap, don't come too easy, and don't be fake. This is what I will say to you because it is tons o'clock, the OJA Nigeria show. You are what you eat, of course. What you eat becomes you. How do people even recognize that you look good? You know all those compliments of, you look good, you look amazing, you look fabulous. It is as a result of what you eat. Welcome to another exciting episode of Thorns, the OJA Nigeria show, where we bring to you market updates and where we talk about food that we buy in the market, items that we buy in the market that are beneficial to our health and that can promote our healthy living. My name is Damilola Banire. As you know that I am the host for the show. Right about now, we're going to go into markets. Let us check the market updates that we have. You know, we do this particularly because we know some of our wives, some husbands, people generally, every day in and out, we do a lot of cooking, a lot of eating because we need to stay alive. And sometimes we get to realize that these market prices vary. What you're buying last week for 10,000, this week could cost 12K. What you bought last week could cost 10,000 naira. This week it could cost 12K or it could be lesser. That's why we need to update you regularly on market prices. Please join me as we go to the market to see what the market has for us today. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The show has just started.
OJA, what you need is OJA. OJA. You need to get foodstuffs, but can't step out. You feel stressed out.
6 kilo 2,000 ele gba 1,500 6 run ele isaro ó gba 2,000 naira ele isaro ó gba 1,500 ele cheap ó gba 5,000 side by side la máa kàṣe tó dìde gbọdọ lele plantain lele agba 3,000 naira
You need to get
ele gba
foodstuffs,
3,000 lele.
but can't step out. You feeling stressed out, with the money that's generator.
Sharp lele.
You can't go to the markets, no cooking at the moment. No the man good, you got your device, go inside, OJA.NG. OJA, you need OJA.
Ele gba 5,000.
OJA,
Ele gba 3,000. Ele gba
you need
4,000.
OJA. OJA,
6
you
lele.
need OJA.
Ele gba 3,500.
OJA, what you need is OJA. You need to get foodstuffs, but can't step out. You feeling stressed out, with the money that's generator. You can't go to the markets, no cooking at the moment. No the man good, you got your device, go inside, OJA.NG.
Wo watermelon.
OJA,
Hello, she don't know
you
watermelon.
need OJA. OJA, you need OJA. OJA, you need OJA. OJA, what you need is OJA. OJA, OJA, what you need is OJA. OJA.
Welcome back. Did it shock you as much as it shocked me? Well, sometimes prices are relative and determinants to market factors are always different. We have the transportation, security, and some other things. Of course, we know what agric is now. And I would also implore a lot of people, if you have gardens around your home, you can begin to cultivate little by little. You don't need to go into farming that's because you want to feed the nation, but farming for yourself and your family, it's actually very important. So today we're going to be talking about the things that we eat in our food, the classes of nutrients that it is almost not negotiable for us to eat when we are having our meal. And this one, of course, it says the 6 classes of essential nutrients that our body needs. And we're going to be talking about, like we know, we've been taught from elementary school or from beginner school, where we can say we know the 6 classes of foods, from our minerals to our vitamins, proteins, fats and oil, carbohydrates, water, and all of it. And now if we're going to look at the 6 essential nutrients that are what I have listed, you know that the body would only function appropriately if these classes of foods are evidently in our food. Any one shot might affect us one way or the other. And you know that our body, of course, we need, there are different, these essential nutrients are divided into two categories. We have the micronutrients and the macronutrients. Like I said, balance is very important. So this show is also helping us to learn how to balance. So we are not eating one food over the other. And if we are going to talk about micronutrients, there are small nutrients that a person needs in small doses. This consists of vitamins and minerals, although we know that the body only needs small amounts of them, and a deficiency in them can cause ill health for us. So we are also going to look at why these are very important. One, of course, boosting our immune system. It helps us also prevent or delay certain cancers, such as prostate cancers for we men. We know it also helps in strengthening our teeth and our bones, in adding calcium, maintaining healthy skin, helping our body metabolism, helping us, supporting blood health, of course, healthy blood, and of course our brain and nervous system function. So we are going to start by looking at these vitamins. Let's start with vitamins. Vitamins are micronutrients that offer a range of healthy benefits. Of course, I've mentioned some of the things that vitamins do for us, boosting our immune system, supporting healthy living, and there are different types of vitamins that we can find in the foods that we eat. Not until when they prescribe a drug for you to go to the pharmacy or to go to the hospital before you know that most of this food that we eat also contain the essential nutrients that our body needs to function. Tell me from vitamin A, D, E, K, and the different water-soluble vitamins that we also have, B1, B12, B6, B7, and all of that. And of course, these ones help our body, they help our brain, they support healthy blood, and some of the other things I've mentioned. And we can find vitamins in different food that we eat. We can find vitamins in vegetable, we can find them in leafy grains, we can find them in poultry products, we can find them in egg yolk, we can find them in beans, in legumes. Different parts of it, vitamins, one part. Now let's move on to the second part. Let's talk about proteins. Yes, some people think that when you talk about protein, protein is associated with fat and oil. Well, I will tell you that no, they are in different categories and they do different things to our body. Now, protein is a macronutrient that every cell in our body needs to function properly. Proteins carry out a variety of functions. Protein also ensures the growth and development of our muscles, our bones, our hair, our skin, forming antibodies, hormones, and other essential substances. It also serves as a fuel source for the cells and the tissues that we need. A person can take in as much protein through their diet. The following are also very good sources of protein that we see around us. Of course, red meat. And you know that red meat particularly, experts has also warned us that by the time we're getting to a certain age, we need to reduce the intake of red meat. Of course, we can also do lean cuts, not cutting them in chunks. We can do them in small bits. That one. We also have poultry products, including chicken and turkey. We have fish and other seafood. We have dairy products as well, nuts, some grains, including quinoa. That is also very high in protein. Although meat and fish tend to contain the highest level of protein, but vegans and vegetarians can get enough protein from other various plants products. So that's for protein. Now let's go on to the next one. Let's talk about fats. This one, I know a lot of us are running to the gym because we've accumulated so much fat. Now, people often associate high fat food with bad health. Maybe not. However, a person needs certain fats to help maintain optimal health. Fats provide the body with energy and help carry it out in a range of ways and or to also perform some functions. However, it is essential to consume healthy fats such as polyunsaturated fats, monounsaturated fats, and limit or avoid saturated or trans fats. Those are the ones that make us run to the gym. Trans fat, a lot of us, we have it. Now, helpful fats also help us in some healthy ways. They help us in our cell growth, blood clotting. Fats help us to ease our blood clotting. It helps us build new cells. It helps in reducing the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. It also helps muscular movements. It helps balance blood sugar, brain functions, mineral and vitamin absorption, hormone production, immune function, a lot of things that fats help us to do in our body. Now, a person can also find helpful and healthy fats in several food, including nuts, fish, and such as salmon, tuna, vegetable oil, and seeds. Those ones, they can guarantee us the appropriate amount of fat that our body needs to function. Now let's move on to the next one. Let's go and see what carbohydrate is telling us. A lot of us are on this table. Carbs, carbs, carbs. Now carbohydrate is saying to us that there are essentials. Yes, carbohydrates are essentials to the body. There are sugar or starches that provide energy for all the cells in our body and tissues, of course, to function. Now, there are two types of carbohydrates, if you don't know. Carbohydrates, simple and complex. Simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. But people should limit their intake of simple carbohydrates, such as white bread, pasta, and rice. That's, sources say you should reduce the intake of simple carbohydrates. However, the body also needs the complex carbohydrates to support the following. Now, your body needs to, how would I put it now? Okay, the body needs these complex carbohydrates to support its health. Now, it supports your immune system, your brain function, your nervous system. It also gives you energy to perform tasks, your digestive function. You know, sometimes when we don't have enough energy in the body, you're always complaining, oh, I'm tired, oh, fatigue. Yes, deficiency of carbohydrate can also cause that. And if we're also going to be looking at food that are rich in carbohydrates, I've talked about so food that are also very rich in carbohydrates, that contains complex carbohydrates. We have quinoa, we have brown rice, we have vegetables, we have whole grain pasta, bread, and some other baked goods. We also have oatmeal. Some fruit also contains carbohydrate, barley. So people should avoid overly processed products that contains bleached white flour and foods with preservatives. Please, our body does not need a lot of it. Now let's go on to water. In this category, water is probably the most essential and important nutrient that a person needs to stay alive. Now, a person can go or survive a few days without consuming water. Even slight dehydration can cause headaches and impaired visual impairedness, physical and mental functioning, which can also affect us if we do not drink enough water. The human system, the human body is made up of mostly water, and every cell requires water to function. How about that? Exactly. Water helps you in several ways, enormous ways, including flushing out toxins, shock absorption, transportation of nutrients, preventing constipation, lubrication, and hydration. Functions of water. Now, the best sources of water to drink, like we know, the government have been preaching, we've learned a lot in schools. The best sources of water is to drink natural, unsweetened water from whatever resource, maybe your tap water that you know that is hygienic enough, or even the bottled ones. But for people who do not like the taste of plain water, they can add a squeeze of lemon and other citrus food. Some people say, oh, I can't drink water just like that now. Yes, it is allowed that you can add a squeeze of lemon, a slice of lemon, a slice of lime, but lime and lemon do different things. And in our next episode, we'll get to similarities and differences in the food that we eat. So we're also going to talk about a person can, yes, get extra water by consuming fruits too. Some fruits are high in water, they are high in amounts of water, and they have large amounts of water. So people can also get water from fruits. You know, if you're getting water, you're also getting some vitamins, which is a dual benefit for you. People should also avoid getting their water intake from sugary drinks. You know, all of those sugary drinks, sweetened drinks, sometimes tea, coffee, soda, lemonade, and fruit juices. Yes, as much as they are sources of water, but please do not lean on them too much, because the sweetened aspect of it can also damage what we are trying to get. Okay, I'm going to take a breather now. I'm going to go on a little break, and when we return, we're going to go on the other classes of food, essential food and vitamins and nutrients that we need.
OJA, what you need is OJA. OJA.
Welcome back. It is still Thorns, the OJA Nigeria show. If you're just joining us, this is a show where we bring to you the benefits of the things we buy in the market, the food that we eat, how it can help us or how it can propel us to long life. Healthy food is one. Of course, taking our drugs is another. But the moment you begin to eat your food like your drug, I'm sure that even your patronage to the pharmacy will be reduced. Now we're talking about the classes of food on this episode and the vitamins and essential nutrients that we get from our food. And don't forget that I talked earlier about water as a nutrient. We've talked about fats, we've talked about vitamins, and now we've talked about carbohydrates too. So I'm going to be talking about minerals now. Now, minerals are the second type of micronutrients. These are, there are two groups of minerals, major and trace minerals. Now, the body needs a balance from minerals from both groups for optimal health. If we're going to look at the major minerals, types of major minerals, we have magnesium, we have calcium, we have phosphorus, we have sulfur, sodium, potassium, chloride. Now, these major minerals help the body to balance your water level, maintain healthy skin, healthy hair, and nails, also improve the bone health. Now, trace minerals are ions, selenium, zinc, magnesium, chromium, copper, iodine, fluoride, and trace minerals help the body strengthen the bones, prevent tooth decay, aiding in blood clotting, helping to carry oxygen, supporting the immune system, supporting healthy blood pressure. A person can also ensure that they consume enough minerals by eating or including these following foods in their diet. Now, of course, you can also choose to have red meats, like we said, little portion or lean cuts, seafood, iodized table salts. Please, for us that use salt, research has shown us that we should not consume more than 2.3 milligrams a day. That's very small pinch of salt, exactly, so that it also does not affect our hearts. Now, milk and other dairy products, nuts, seed, vegetables, and some of these other things are also sources of minerals. You can also get minerals from them. Don't also forget bones. If you eat bones, you know, some of us, we are heavy on fish bone, we are heavy on meat bone. Yes, we can also get minerals from these items. And about that, we're also going to be talking about, I've talked about water, I've talked about different things. So if you did not catch that part, you can please go back and watch again on YouTube, where you can get everything that I have listed above. Remember that we're talking about 6 essential nutrients that are beneficial to our body, which are the things that we get from the products we buy in the market. From vitamins to minerals to protein to fats, carbohydrates, and water. All of these things intertwined are very essential for our body metabolism, to improve our skin and our hair, to improve our immune system, to help delay cancer, to help cancer such as prostate cancer, to help strengthen. There are so many. So we can't just say that we want to lean on a certain kind of food because we like it or because our family love it. We need to always find a balance between all of these classes of food that provide nutrients for our body. And this is where we're going to be drawing the curtain of the show today. For all our packages that we run under the OJA business empire, we have different packages to suit your pocket. Of course, we have the beneficiary plan where you can subscribe, and any of your beneficiaries, probably your parents, your children that are not in your town, you can pay for them and they get the plan, they get the food stuff. We also have the buy now, pay later plan. That's for the workers, where they can be embossed with foodstuffs at the beginning of the month and they pay at the end of the month. We have the diaspora plan for your families and friends who live in diaspora, but they still want to keep touch with Nigerian food, homemade food. We do direct supply to diaspora. And so many other plans, exciting plans that we have for you under the OJA.NG platform.
You need to get foodstuffs, but can't step out. You feeling stressed out with the money that's generated. You can't go to the market, no cooking at the moment. No the man good, you got your device, go to try OJA.NG. OJA, you need OJA. OJA, you need OJA. OJA, you need OJA. OJA, what you need is OJA. OJA.